MJ, and a couple of days ago, I had the privilege of interviewing Farzam Ehsani, who's the CEO of VALR, a cryptocurrency exchange. And I asked him the following question, what risks do startups face? So let's go and hear what he had to say. Coming to risk, this is something that I always find interesting with regards to startups. And just risk in general, I know there's many different ways of seeing risk. So first off, I want to ask you, what is your definition of risk? And what would you say are the top two risks every new startup faces, irrespective of industry and size?
So great question. So let me just make a comment on your previous comment, which is just, actuaries kind of looking at risk and having a robust model, etc. And, the fact of the matter is with a startup, odds are against your success. So if you were going to be looking at the models about investing, nobody would ever invest in a startup because the chances of survival are slim.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really does come down to much more than just the models, which is actually the belief, as I said beforehand. So especially early stage, especially when you only have an idea. I mean, obviously with venture capital, you have a whole spectrum, and it can come from seed investing, angel investing, seed investing, first round, second round, etc., or Series A, B, etc. And obviously, hopefully, the risk gets less and less as you go down that spectrum. But especially at the beginning, I don't think there would be any model that would spit out and invest. And even with people that are seasoned investors or serial entrepreneurs, whenever you're getting into a new endeavor, there are so many different types of risks that one doesn't even know about, let alone the ones you know about and you're trying to quantify, which is always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back to your question about, you said, what are the two major risks?
Yes.
Or how do I define risk, and what are the two major risks of any startup? So I think, there's so many different types of risk. And I think generally we're talking about financial risk here. And that would be, someone that, what is the probability I am going to not get my money back effectively?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's many other types of risks, reputational risk and operational risk, market risk, tons of different types of risks. So I think given the financial risk, which is really what is the probability of me not getting my money back, I think the two main risks of any startup is I say the first thing is like your product market fit. So there's a risk that whatever you're trying to put out there is actually not wanted by the market.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be because of timing, or just the product itself isn't what people are looking for, etc. So that product market fit, I think, is a very big risk. And then I would say probably the second biggest one is executional.
Okay.
And what is the risk of investing some money into a startup, into some entrepreneurs, and do they actually know how to execute this? Now, that could be just from making sure they're not fraudulent, so literally just stealing the money and going elsewhere, to they have a lot of integrity, but potentially their operations and their relationships with individuals or broader team members aren't as good as they may be, so that they just can't pull it off. So I would say probably those are the two main things, assuming obviously you've been able to secure some funding in the first place.
I must say, I like that one about the product and not being a match for the market, because I think a lot of times entrepreneurs, and this is myself included when I've dabbled in this in the past, is I come up with an idea, I think this idea is amazing, and I'm so arrogant with believing my idea is the best thing ever, that I go out and I build the entire thing, and then I take it to market, and I'm like, market, look at my amazing product, and people are like, ooh, we don't actually like this, or this is too confusing, or how does this actually work? And it's so important, I guess, to have that conversation before building the product. Going to people, doing that market research, saying, is this something you want, rather than building it and then finding out later. So that's, I can definitely relate to that one. And then, of course, execution is such a big one, because especially in today's world with the internet, I mean, ideas are out there. There's so many different things to do. There's so many innovations and ways to do things, that it's not about having a great idea. It's about executing the idea that I think makes the difference. But this maybe then leads into...
Well, can I just say one thing on what you just mentioned?
Yes, go for it.
Because you talked a little about seeing if there's product market fit, and to kind of talk to people, etc. If possible, I would suggest not doing that, but actually just putting a minimal viable product into the market, just getting something up and running so you can test people's actions, not their words. Because oftentimes people say one thing, but they actually do another. So as much as possible, if you can actually get some sort of prototype out there just to test how people interact with it, or if they want it, I think that will probably be much more powerful than surveys. But obviously the first thing to do is talk to people and see if they would want it.
Yes. I mean, just like with my example, what I did, this was back when I was at university, we developed a collective buying online store, where the idea was that all the prices were hidden and people would pay to reveal the price, and by paying to reveal the price would then decrease with each reveal, and then as soon as somebody purchased it at the discount, it then reset it back to the beginning. But of course, we did this whole thing, we built the whole website, we got everything up and running, and it was amazing because we failed basically in the two risks that you mentioned. The one thing was we found people just revealed and bought something straight away. So if they wanted the Man United t-shirt, or they wanted the scanning device that we were selling, they just bought it straight away. They didn't really matter too much about the cost. And it was mainly family members who were doing this, that were our initial customers. And then what we also found is, so people weren't actually using it. We thought people would buy the drops and reveal the price and look, be bargain hunters, which we didn't see that activity. And then two, we took a big smack with logistics on trying to deliver items. It was something that we had no experience in. I mean, we were nerds making websites. Now we had to try and deliver a Man United t-shirt, get it from the supplier, get it to the customer in as short a period as possible, and then find out that the size wasn't the right one and have to handle returns. And it was basically not one of my more successful ventures that I've done in life.
That's true.
And I think that's been one of the nice things about actuarial science. It has been this focus on managing risk, compared to when I was an entrepreneur, which was just take a leap of faith and hope for the best.